Hello, everyone, and welcome to this bonus live episode of the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show. I'm Wendy Y. Bailey, and I am a master business and sales coach known as your income acceleration mentor. And I've been serving in my role as a coach, as an entrepreneur for 18 and a half years. 18 and a half years. I've seen a lot of things in the marketplace. And because of my deep experience and long time in the world of coaching, I really sort of serve from that space of I know things, let me share them with you. And today's episode is an example of that. Today's episode is entitled Email Nurture Sequences That Convert. It's because I understand very, very clearly that if you are in the business of reaching, serving your clients, especially as a coach, you've got to know how to create an email sequence that actually builds the relationship, continues to nurture the relationship, and instills trust in who you are and what you offer the marketplace. So, welcome to this episode of the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show. I'm actually live on StreamYard and on YouTube, my Facebook page, my Facebook group, and I'm also on LinkedIn. So definitely give StreamYard permission so that I can read your comments and I know exactly who you are. As people continue to come on, if you are watching the replay, type hashtag replay to let me know that you were here, that you watched it. If you have questions as you're watching, post your questions, and I will be more than happy to respond to your questions. Excuse me. So let's see. I just want to make sure I am live in all of the necessary places. Yes, I am. I see myself in my Facebook group. Let me make sure I am live on LinkedIn. Yes, I see myself on LinkedIn. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I'm live on LinkedIn. Yay. I'm glad to see that. I'm live everywhere I'm supposed to be. So let's just jump in and I will share with you. Yeah, I see people showing up on LinkedIn as well. So let me jump into this. This whole concept of email nurture sequences is all about building a relationship with a potential client. There are terms that I don't use in my coaching or in my business. I don't use the term prospecting. I don't use the term closing. I don't use the term pitching. Those are three terms that I don't use in my business. I believe, because this is how I want to be treated, I believe that when you make a connection with someone, that your job as a marketer, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a coach, is really to make a connection. It's to make a connection. It's to, build trust. It's to help them understand what you do and how you might be able to serve them and support them in the marketplace. And it's not about pitching or closing or prospecting. Those words don't come into play. It really is about relationships. One of my mentors, Simon T. Bailey, says it all the time. Relationships are the currency of the 21st century. And I want to kind of expand that a little bit and say relationships truly are the currency of 2021. We had a really interesting year in 2020. So in this year, make sure that everything you're doing is about relationships. Relationships are everything, especially with potential clients. So let me give you three things that I want to make sure that you understand specifically about email nurture sequences. There are three goals that I'm going to give you. And I think when you understand the goal or goals of an email nurture sequence, then what you can do is it makes more sense for you to follow them. Okay. The first thing is it's to move your contacts to permanent residence. And here's what I mean. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, we're on all of these platforms, but we don't own any of those platforms. We're visitors there. It's not a permanent residence, it's temporary. So the goal when you are creating an email nurture sequence is to move people off of those platforms onto your permanent residence, which is your email list. Okay, that's your mortgaged property. That's where you have the ability to really create a relationship and build a relationship with them. It is about moving your contacts. Notice I didn't say prospects, I said your contacts, people who are interested in hearing from you, from those temporary spaces to permanent residents on your email list. Okay, that's the first goal. The next goal is to, come on, add value and communicate social proof. People want to get to know more about you. They want to like you or decide if they like you. They want to trust you. And I also believe that it's an opportunity for you to them to experience you. So you're giving them value in terms of them having a sense of your wares, what you offer, how you can serve, how you can support them, what you've done with previous other clients, some testimonials, things that let them know that you may be the person that they're looking for to solve their problem. So the second goal of an email nurture sequence is truly to um, move them in a place to a place where you can add value to them in a big way. Like you can manage the flow of information, and your job, your goal is to really add value to them. So then the third goal, to establish a relationship, to build a rapport and connection. Relationships are everything. So every time you send an email, every time you share a tweet, every time you post a video or share an audio or go live, it really is about building relationship, making the connection, building the relationship, and continuing to build rapport. That means you start to recognize people by name. That means that you see certain people and you know exactly who they are. You can bring them into the fold, so to speak. You can talk to them. You can communicate with them in a way that says, I know you. Like we're in relationship. I know you. And people who are interested in what you offer will really, really appreciate that. Okay. Everybody won't, but everybody's not for you, and you're not for everyone. But your job, your first job is to move your contacts to permanent residence that's on your email list. Your second job is to add value and communicate social proof. And then the final goal of email nurture sequences is to establish a relationship to build rapport and connection with your potential clients. I see people are popping on. Be sure that you give StreamYard permission so that you can make your comments. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and type hashtag replay if you're just coming on. Okay, so let's jump into some other stuff. There's some things I really want you to know when it comes to email nurture sequences. And it's not it really is about making sure that when you sit down to actually begin to craft your emails for your sequences, that you understand what's really important about them. Okay. So the first very important thing is your emails need to be conversational. They need to be friendly. They need to be conversational. They need to be, you need to speak in your email as though you guys are sitting down and having a conversation, and you're anticipating their responses. You're anticipating their, yes, that's true, or no, that's not true. You're anticipating that, and that's written into your emails. One of the things I learned coming out of corporate America 18 and a half years ago was that I had gotten used to writing very formally, per your request, please advise this. And that's not how I talk normally. That's not my typical conversation. So I've had to sort of unlearn that. And the way that I do it is I write the email that has the appropriate response or the appropriate information I want to share. And then I go back over it and I make it conversational. I add a greeting, add a thank you at the end, or say, I want to see you soon. Hope you're having a great weekend. Whatever it is, I add that at the end. And then I have whatever my signature salutation is. Mine is to your amazing success, Wendy Y. Okay, Wendy with two Y's. The last Y is capitalized. So what I tend to do is I wordsmith around the goal for the email, and I think that when you do an email that way, you stay in that conversational space. You stay in that place so that your reader feels like they're being connected with, they're being spoken to, they're in a conversation that they may not have even expected they would be having with you. So make sure all of your emails are conversational. Whatever you've got to do, I just gave you a tip that I use. Make sure your emails are conversational. The next element I want to make sure you appreciate is you want to build a simple yet repeatable sequence. I've got a 3-day masterclass coming up, and there's a workbook for the people who are part of the masterclass series. And it's all about what a simple sequence looks like, some examples of emails, and why it's so important for you to create something that then you can repeat. The reason that you want it to be repeatable is if you have one lead magnet, you probably want to have an email nurture sequence that accompanies that. And what I mean by that is when people come to your website or your lead page or your opt in page and they are interested in giving you their name and their email address, that says, I want to hear from you. I want to stay in communication with you. It should not stop at you just delivering whatever that was they just signed up for. It should continue, and you should continue to build a relationship. Well, in order to do that, you've got to start simple. And for me, simple means, 8 or 10 emails that are rolling out at a particular time for that client, for that potential prospect. Oh, I use the word for your potential client, your ideal client. I don't like the word prospect, but you've got to make sure that you are staying in communication with them above and beyond just sending them what they signed up for, right? So when you create a lead magnet and you create a lead page or an opt-in page for that lead magnet, what you're doing is you're saying, great, I'm so glad you want to hear from me. Trust me, I'm going to take care of you. There's more that I can do to support you and add value. So you've given me permission to do that. So that's what I'm going to do. It has to be repeatable in that lead magnet and that email nurture sequence may go together really well, or maybe you want more than one lead magnet to go to an email nurture sequence. So now you've got two. If you've done one, you can repeat that and change some things out, right? When you have three lead magnets, you may have a third sequence. When you have a fourth lead magnet, you may have a similar sequence, but it takes them in a different place based on what you really want to promote, what you really want to share with them. You've got to be mindful of extending it beyond the simple, but when you start with a simple, repeatable sequence, then you can duplicate it, you can massage it, you can extend it, whatever you need to do, but you've got to start simple. Okay. Then the last thing I'll say is this is about delivering content in multiple ways. Maybe you've got something that you want them to download and read. So that's like a handout. Maybe you've got a video you want them to see. So you add a link to a YouTube video where you're teaching something or sharing something, or you send them a link to an audio, or you send them a link to a video on Vimeo. Whatever the case is, think of multiple ways where that you can deliver content to them as part of this email nurture sequence. Now, part of what I wanted to do in sharing this content was give you a glimpse into the masterclass that I talked about. At the bottom of my screen, you'll see the link incomeacceleration.online. That will take you to the masterclass series where I'm going to be teaching this masterclass where we dig into email nurture sequences and you get to write them using the workbook that I give you. We're also going to talk about how to set your fees for profitability and success. It's all about making sure your fees are reflect the value that you're sharing in the marketplace. They reflect the investment that your ideal client will make to spend more time with you, to learn with you, to coach with you. We're also going to talk about how to automate your business with the right systems. There's some key systems you want to have in place. And based on that, it will help you grow in your business. So go to incomeacceleration.online. If you're in my private Facebook community, go to the event and you'll see that I've given you a coupon code because you are a member of my private Facebook group. And you'll get benefit of some opportunity to save a little bit on the fee for the masterclass series. So far I've given you goals for an email nurture sequence. I've also given you some things that you really need to know about an email nurture sequence. And I want to just touch base on some of the types of emails that you can write within a particular sequence. Again, this is within a simple email nurture sequence. So the first type of email is, let me turn my banners off. The first type of email that you can create is a welcome and confirmation email. This is just kind of saying, hey, welcome. Thanks for requesting this. I appreciate it. And then you move on to another email. Did you get it? You know, Were you able to successfully download that? Great. Then this is how you fix it. This is the third type of email you're going to send. What you're doing is you're sharing a problem and what you suggest and how you recommend fixing the problem. Then the next one is to add more value. You give them more content, you give them some strategy that you recommend, you map out a system that you use. It's about adding value. The next type of email is to um, raving fan story. I can't read my own writing. That means you're sharing a testimonial. You're talking about a case study where you've helped a client to do what they may need you to do. The next one is are you still interested? Maybe, because you signed up for whatever it is in the first place, maybe now there's an opportunity for you to have more information. That email may include a call to action as well. Are you still interested? Then you showcase your expertise. It's another way of adding value, right? You're still adding value as you nurture the relationship. Maybe you add a survey that says, hey, what do you really need the most support in right now, and give them an opportunity to give you feedback. It's all about showcasing your expertise. The next one is about social proof. You add more social proof. Maybe that's another raving fan story. Maybe that is a video of a raving fan talking about what it was like to work with you. You get to decide how this all rolls out. And then the last one I'll give you, and these are some simple ones, the emails that you might include, it's an offer of support. You offer support, you extend an opportunity to give support when they need it, and they have to respond to that in some way. So I've given you this email nurture sequence sort of jump start. There's so much more to email nurture sequences that I want to teach you, I want to share with you. Remember that you can go to incomeacceleration.online and join the 3-part Income Acceleration Masterclass series. This has been a bonus episode of the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show. I'm Wendy Y. Bailey. I encourage you to come over to my private Facebook group at profitablecoachingsociety.com. It's a free group. We interact a lot there. And I'll see you next time for another bonus episode. Thanks so much for joining me, tuning in. I didn't see any comments or questions, but be sure that you type hashtag replay. And if you have questions, you can post them here. Thanks, everybody, so much for being a part of this live experience. Thank you so much. I don't know who's saying this was great information, but thank you so much. And I'm actually doing lives on Clubhouse. So tonight is my last night doing a live on Clubhouse because next week I start with a 7-day sales challenge. So I look for me on Clubhouse. I'm Wendy Y. Bailey everywhere on social media, so you can find me very easily. And I'll see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.